Hello and welcome to the Wedding Dish Podcast. Grab your fork and knife and take a seat at our table as we dish on all things weddings. You'll hear stories and tips from real couples and wedding pros about love, life, and entrepreneurship. I, of course, am Sarah Alapin, your hostess with the mostest on the Wedding Dish Podcast and CEO of Photos from the Hardy and District Bliss. And before we get started, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, you definitely need to check it out. Flag it for after you listen to this one. Thank you everyone for tuning into the Wedding Dish today. Today, we are talking with the manager of a band who provides dynamic and unique performances, the human behind Paradigm Party Band, Kimmie Karamuda. Thank you so much for being on the Wedding Dish today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
I am so excited to have you. We were just laughing it up before we started recording today, everyone. So I can tell you right now, Kimmie is a hoot and a half.
She's business face. Okay, we're good.
Okay, let me get my serious pants on.
Yes.
All right, so let's dish.
Okay.
How important is entertainment when you're planning an event, and why?
Well, of course, I'm a little biased. Hi.
Maybe just a teeny tiny bit.
Teeny
just
bit.
Smidge.
But I really think that live entertainment is a very important part, whether it's a corporate event, a wedding, depending, even a social event. It's just a great. It just brings people together. It's something to connect. I love live music, always have. So for me, it's very important. That's where I go. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally what it says. It's entertainment. It's like not everybody's a big dancer, but they still are entertained by the music or enjoy the music or
Yes.
like entertained by the performance itself.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
It is. For me, live entertainment. I will tell you that as a manager, I know I'm on site at every event with our band, and I am the one in the back. I may be all dressed in black and kind of slide into the back, but I pretty much am dancing at everything, and I pretty much entertain the entertainers on the stage. I don't dance well, but I entertain. So there we go. You will never see me on stage. But I do. I think it is a very important part for our lives. It just brings something else to an event. It's very it's the interaction and just getting to know everybody that's there. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think, even if you're sitting, like even for me as the photographer, I love the performances because, of course, I wear my stuff to protect my ears, my little, my dubs that are like audio filters. But so for me, it's like the performance is super fun because that's something that I can watch when I'm like taking a couple seconds break or like changing my battery or whatever it is. It's always really, I think it just brings a little extra zhuzh to the event. It's like, it's like you're a little sprinkle on the top.
I like that. I will take a sprinkle. Yes, that's me. I like that.
When you all are booking wedding or like when you're doing a wedding,
yes.
Is it important for you all to vibe with the couples?
Yes, I think I really think so. I think that when we have a couple that reaches out, first of all, I love it when a couple will email us or text or however they like to respond. It's wonderful when we get the emails going, oh my word, I love your videos. I love your music. I love your energy. And that way, that it's going to be an amazing night. It's going to be an amazing event. Everybody's going to have fun. I love the couples. We've had several couples that have actually reached out to us before they've even booked their venue and going, I found you. Yes. I love that surprise. That was a surprise look. I like that.
For those of you who don't know, that's a huge deal when the couple reaches out to anyone ahead of the venue because that can set your date.
It was surprising, but we actually have had two that have reached out to us going, we don't even have a venue. We know it's going to be in such and such place because, we're or in this area. And I'm like, cool. So that was for us, it's a huge compliment for them
It
to
is.
reach out to us and go, we loved your videos. We read all the reviews. We looked at you on Instagram. We've watched everything. And then that way, that's the couple for you. They're looking at you, they're looking at everything, and that's what they're looking for. And you know that you can go in there and do exactly what you do, and it'll be an amazing night. And every time it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it also helps really foster a level of trust
Yes.
between the band and the couple.
Yes. They already know what you're doing. And again, just reading the reviews and knowing, they know what you're going to bring. And they're that they usually just go, here, you do this. We know that you know what you're doing. You're professional. You've done this for us. It's going into 9 years, and they trust us completely. And they know that we're going to provide them what we like to call, for us, a personal concert experience. We're not just a wedding band. We are a personal concert experience. So that way they're enjoying it. They're watching it. They're involved. So yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
That's really fun.
Thanks.
Okay, tell me what the difference is between like typical, what we think of as like typical wedding music, like either DJ or, like a maybe like not performance-based entertainment style band, and the experience that Paradigm Party Band provides for couples.
I was like, wow, that's a great one.
I know. I was like, I really want to hear this because I
wow.
feel like there's a good answer
I was
here.
like, and I'm trying to, what's the difference? Sorry, hesitation. It's not something stuck. It's just me hesitating to think. As far as what we bring, like what we bring in our songs, we have a certain, like I said, it's the concert experience where we have certain songs we've played together for 8 or 9 years. There are certain songs that we know or that people want to hear, and we start playing those. And we also have a wonderful front line. A little bit about Paradigm. Let me back up. Sorry, that's how I
Yeah.
roll. Paradigm. We start as a minimum 8-piece band, and that means we have a 4-piece front line, 4 singers, and then a rhythm section: keys, drums, bass, guitar. And our 4-piece front line, the 3 females and 1 male, we they love what they do. They love to perform. They start to it's just a choreographed. It's just very organic. I know. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm getting everything across well, but yeah, I'm sorry.
They bring the party.
They bring the party. I'm so sorry. I know. I just stopped. I'm like,
you are fine. It is a heavy question. I mean, it's true. Like I watched a bunch of your, before I invited you on the show, I watched
yes.
a bunch of your videos and things.
Okay.
And that was the sense that I got. There's like an enthusiasm and a
Yes.
deep-seated love for that
Performance.
event in
Yes.
that moment. It's
Every
not just
single
for
one.
the general overall performance. And you can tell that they just like, I think it would be even more so if you're there in person, because I think there's like a very big personal connection element that
Yes.
Paradigm Party Band seems to bring to the table.
I'm just going to let you talk. that was perfect. It is, and it's so true because each event is different. Each couple is different. Everything's different, but it's that interaction. They love to interact. I can always tell because they'll be standing basically on stage and they're doing, their songs. And we also, a little bit of difference about Paradigm. They call on site. We don't go by a set list. So our lead singer, they will just start with a couple of songs. And then from there, they're like, oh, basically this is working. They use a talk back and say, hey, we're going to roll to this. We're going to roll to this. But they love the interaction with the audience, the crowd, the guests that are there. And within, I can always count because I'm, as I said, I'm also the sound tech on site. So I can sit there and I can go, okay, within 3 songs, they're going to be off that stage. Just trust me. And it's true. They'll sit there and they'll sing and sing and sing. And all of a sudden I'll see one of them just either they'll come off depending on how high the stage is. Uh, they will step off the stage or come off the stage or come off they have to get in with the crowd. They just love to dance with them. They love to interact with them. They love to sing with them. It's passion for what we do.
I love that. Yeah, I could totally see that. Also, I mean, which you didn't explicitly call this out, but for those of you out here who are planning a wedding, one of the things that can happen with music is if you don't have you can have a set list. It is great. It is probably great to have a set list. I don't know. But as the photographer, my favorite musicians to work with, whether that be DJ, like music category to work with, is a person who isn't afraid to depart from that, or a group that isn't afraid to depart from that based on what the needs of the guests are in that moment, because they can then control, bring the dance floor back to life, or wind the dance floor down, or, prepare for the next big event. And then I'm getting the best quality pictures because everyone is enjoying it in the right way, in the way that it's intended for that actual flow of event. So there's like a science to this, I would imagine. I don't know the magic behind it. I just know documenting it makes my life so much easier.
That's good. Okay. I like that. That's good to know. But it's true. We try to exactly just watch the flow of the guest and what they're doing, and they call the next song that will work. And like you said, if all of a sudden there's a formality, as far as they're wanting to do a cake cutting, or if they're wanting to do something like that, we want to make sure that the dance floor stays full. But then if we need to bring it down, then we bring it down just slightly. And then, of course, direct the attention accordingly. And even at the end of the night, if we know that, for instance, if it's outside or if there's like a hard stop, it's like you don't just go full force on that last. You want to have a great dance song so everybody has that great last dance, but you also want to bring it down just a little bit so that way they know, okay, we got to go home.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So it's really, it is science, but, yes, they really do a great job with that. So thank you.
Yeah, I think that really matters. And I don't know that unless you've seen it either work really well or not work well at all, then you probably don't identify it. But since we see it all the time, I notice.
You go, that may not have been the right one there.
Yeah, it's like, especially because if they don't have me staying till the end and there's only 45 minutes of dancing that I'm
you
photographing.
Want to get people out there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the DJ or the band needs to know that so that they can keep the tempo at the right level so that people are actually on the dance floor.
Yes.
Yeah. And I've definitely seen it not work. And if you can't think on your feet, it is tough.
Yes. Yes, I will. Yes, when we first, I'm sure when we first started, we needed a little help. That's what everybody does. It's true. You're just learning. You're learning everything. But we, again, being 8 and 9 years into doing what we love, we've learned what everybody is looking for and how to ramp up through the evening and really bring it together.
Yeah. I love that. This is not on my question list, but I'm curious. I know you all travel.
Yes.
For weddings. You're based in the Orlando area, but
Correct.
You travel for weddings, which is one of the conversations we had initially forever ago when we were trying to record this and the hurricanes were coming through. We kept having to reschedule. I think I had an internet outage or something one day,
happened,
and then you ended up with the hurricane. So this has been 6 months in the making for all of you out there. But what is it like to travel with all of that gear?
Well, actually, it depends on where you're traveling.
Okay.
So for us, it honestly depends on how far we're going. If we are traveling within, I don't know, 8 hours, then yes, we would be like the equipment would be in one van, and most everybody else would be in another. If we're But based in Orlando, we travel throughout Florida, so sometimes we have all of our sound equipment, etc., in one van, and then everybody else drives separately. So because we travel on a regular basis to like Naples, which is 3.5 hours from here, or to
Oh, wow.
Miami,
That's
Miami,
a
or to the
long
Keys,
drive
or
back.
well, it depends on the end of the event. We may have overnight stays.
Okay. Because
So some
usually if I have to go that far, I stay.
I was listening to that on one of the other podcasts. I'm like, oh, we drive back. But we're a little bit on that interesting side that we're like, yeah, we got this. We could do this. It's 4 hours. It's only 4 hours. It's fine. We're great. Just have a cup of coffee. You're great. But we do that. It's true. Okay, I got to tell you a little side story. We as far as far as us being interesting. So we had an event in let's say it was like 2 hours north of here, and then from that point we went to another. We drove another. After that event, we stayed the night. We did stay the night, but then we had to drive 6 hours north from there.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
geez.
Yes. So we had a wedding in Charleston, but we had the equipment in one van that drove up, and then we had everybody else in another van that drove up the next day. But then that night after the wedding, which was spectacular, it was one of those clients that calls you and says, "We want you," and it's like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing!" It was a fantastic night. You probably saw some of the videos. It was actually on there. But all of us drove back, like straight back from Charleston to Orlando. So we yes.
That's a hike for those of
It
you
was
who
it
don't
was a
know.
hi- it was a hike. It was like 6 hours, I think, something like that. 6, 8, 7. I'm not sure. It's
I feel
somewhere.
like it's got to be longer than that. Like you're 17 hours driving from me.
We could do it. We could do.
You could. Maybe not
We've done it.
overnight.
Not overnight. Not overnight. We had the wonderful opportunity a couple of years ago to travel for a client, but this was more for a corporate event. But they had employee appreciation, and we drove throughout. But we drove to Albany, and we flew the band. So the band got to fly, but
Okay.
the two techs, myself and my husband who plays the keys, we drove. But that was so much fun. So we have
Albany
no.
is 8 hours from me. So if anyone out there is doing math,
Sorry, I know, and I do bad math, so there we go. Maybe that was.
that's like a full day.
It was a day. We stopped, and at like halfway the first day, but the next day, which yeah, that's it's okay. We like what we do.
Yeah. Well, when you love what you do, I think it would be fun to take the train too, because you could do the moto train and you can like load everything into the van and then put that on the train itself.
I was going to say, I'm not sure that we have. No. But I was going to go back to that. So if we can't drive, like if we don't have, if we have a wedding that we're needing to be somewhere, but we have an event either on, either day before or after, like I said, we drive up and drive up. That's fine. Or if we have to fly, that's another option as well. Then usually we have certain items that we can take with us, but the rest we have to rent wherever the destination is. So we have the backline.
Oh, that makes total
Yeah.
sense.
So we have what is called, backline rental. That way we rent the drum set and all of the mics and, in-ear monitors and et cetera.
Yeah,
And
the stuff that
yeah.
gosh, that really would take up a ton of space.
Yes. So you can't travel with that. You can only travel like with the keys and the guitar and the bass, and you check, and everything else. You would have to rent. You have to rent at the destination.
You
and
can't put a drum set in
I mean,
the
you
overhead
could,
bin?
but I'm not sure that that would be frowned upon. Everybody grab a carry-on. There we go.
I feel like that would be really tough.
A little difficult. Oh, but anyway.
Well, what final advice do you have for couples who are deciding who to book for their music and entertainment?
I will say, for me, I would say, honestly, to do the research, to look at the website, look at the Instagram, all of the postings. Definitely read the reviews wherever you can find them.
Yeah.
And honestly, and another thing, if for me, if someone is reaching out to us, I have no problem sending the information, the reviews and links. But I also go, if you want to speak to someone specifically, most of our clients are going, just call me. To have them call me, have them text me, whatever. So it's having that peace of mind of, trusting who you're working with. It needs to be, make sure that you, I call it the vibe, as you said.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you vibe with them, because if you don't vibe from the very beginning, if, nothing's wrong, or, you just have a different style. But if you can, if you connect immediately, then perfect. It's like, yes, this is who I want to work with, because you're going to be working together for usually it's a year at
Months.
least. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes we get the last minute, and that's perfect too. But you want someone that you can communicate with, that you can talk to, that you can, it's okay to text if you have a last minute, question. But you also want to know their style. And if you're looking for, if you like their style, then that's what you go with. Or if you want, and you want all this different, the different music, you may want to opt for a DJ. It just really is completely up to you, but you want your day to be exactly what you want. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And you make an excellent point too, that the planning process, you want to be working with people for that entire
Yes.
process that you enjoy working with.
Yes.
As well. Yeah.
Oh,
I couldn't agree more.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, Kimmie, thank you so much for joining me on The Wedding Dish today. Where can our listeners find you on social media and your website?
Oh, absolutely. So you can find us at paradigmpartyband.com. That's our website, and you have all of our information and our links there. And definitely you can contact me if you needed to. Instagram, again, Paradigm Party Band. TikTok, we're actually on Paradigm Party Band. Yes, I'm trying.
Look at you.
Thanks. It's like, I was already going down the rabbit hole. Might as well get us on there too. I'm on there all the time. And we do have Facebook as well. So we have a little bit of everything. We're also on YouTube. So it's pretty much Paradigm Party Band. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Thank
we
you.
will, of course, link out to your website in our show notes and in our episode description. So if you all didn't catch that and you want to look at the description here, you can absolutely do that. And on our YouTube channel, we'll tag you. So you can find that over at theweddingdishpodcast.com. And we are at The Wedding Dish Podcast on Instagram. And we'll tag you in our post too. So it's super duper easy for everyone to get in touch. And don't forget to tune in next week. You can turn in if you want to. We have another amazing guest. I'm super excited. This is going to be such a great season. And I'm so glad that you joined me today, Kimmie. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so excited. Thank you. I'm glad we could finally connect. It's great.
I know. And now we're connected forever. So.
I know. Thank you.
Until next time, everybody. Cheers.